Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. And this watch is a Rolex Certified Pre-Owned Oyster Perpetual Day-Date 40, reference 228239 in white gold. 40 millimeters in diameter. This elegant watch is 12.1 millimeters thick, so it will easily slide under a cuff. From lug tip to lug tip, 47.5 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Key difference between the Day-Date 2 and the Day-Date 40 is that the end links of the bracelet here are pivoted, whereas they are solid on the Day-Date 2. As a result, this pulls straight down out of the lugs, meaning the difference between this and the Day-Date 2 from a side-to-side standpoint, the Day-Date 2 is about 53.5 from end to end. This is 47.5, so though only 1 millimeter smaller in measurement, it wears quite a bit more compact. And now we're going to put it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, and get a sense of its size. Now, I will remove the glove, and we will demonstrate how it looks. Because sometimes when a glove is on the wrist, it's just impossible to get a sense of how big the guy's wrist actually is. So now you can see the watch wears well. I think that if you want a bigger Day-Date and your wrist is my size, 16 centimeters in circumference, you definitely want to go with a Day-Date 40 like this, because any broader across the wrist, like a Day-Date 2 with the solid end links, it's really going to stretch beyond the edges. And you can see down the barrel, this is probably the most advantageous angle. It's easy to see where the lugs end and my wrist extends, and I'm pulling it tight here. Even over the top, which tends to exaggerate the width of a watch across the wrist, this has a very short span. The lugs are inboard on both sides, and that's always the go, no-go measurement. In profile, yeah, you can see that sliding underneath the sleeve, all right? Gloves back on now. All right. The watch features a Rolex President bracelet, though the Day-Date has often been nicknamed the President or Presidential due to its illustrious history of high-profile owners. The fact is the watch has always been called the Day-Date, but the bracelet is the President. So it's a three-link design, but it also has short link cross-section, so it has the best qualities of the Jubilee dress bracelet and the Oyster sports bracelet. It's a little bit tougher and more solid than a Jubilee, but it also has the ability to vent the wrist via many gaps and the short link souplesse or supple feel that you get with the Jubilee. Now there's a solid end link, but you can see that it's pivoted, but the link itself is a solid block of gold that goes between the lugs and helps to mate this cleanly to the case. It's not Nautilus level integration, but it is handsome. There's a little bit of a taper as we move down towards the clasp itself, and one of the nice features of these small links is that you get so many individual removable links, and that on both sides, so you're going to be able to fine-tune this fit quite well. On this generation of the bigger Day-Date, we have every single pin in every single link ceramic coated, so they can never wear down, and this bracelet will never suffer the once ubiquitous Rolex bracelet stretch. The ceramic pins fix that. We've got the crown clasp, and I'll do my best to demonstrate that with the hang tag present, but the idea is that when closed, the only obvious partition point is the 5-point coronet. And you can see here we now have a pivoted lift lock system with a beak and then a hook. So this will actually latch together and stay closed. It's not a friction fit system, so it's a bit more secure. We've got a twin lock crown in gold. You know that because it has two dots. We have a screw-in oyster style case back. The watch is 100 meters water resistant. We have the fluted bezel, not to be confused with Rolex's engine-turned bezel. This is the fluted bezel, which indicates the presence of some sort of a precious metal, either gold, traditionally, or more recently platinum, sapphire, crystal, cyclops eye magnifier. We have a lovely black lacquer dial with diamonds, baguette cut. This is actually a very acceptable use of diamonds for those, particularly men, who don't like the look of diamond set watches. Diamonds inside the watch read a little bit differently, and these being baguettes, they read quite a bit differently than brilliant cut. Now, this is a non-loomed Day-Date, so it's between the President bracelet, the fluted bezel, the non-loomed dial, the gem setting. It's on the more formal side. There are sportier Day-Date 40s out there. This is going to be one that is more inclined toward grace. Now, the mounting brackets for the diamonds, as well as the hand and the Rolex 5-point coronet, they're solid gold, so they'll never tarnish or oxidize. We have two subsidiary setting modes. One is stop seconds, and then the other double quick set. And Rolex using a nice serif intensive font for the date and then you turn in the opposite direction, and now you control the day, just like that. Screw the crown back in. Inside the case, Rolex manufactured caliber 3255. Automatic winding with bidirectional action, the rotor on a ball bearing, 70-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate, 31 joules. COSC chronometer certified, but then cased up, tested as a fully assembled watch in 6 positions to run no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per 24 hours. That is the superlative chronometer standard. Rolex's own lubricants, Rolex's own Paraflex shock protection, a full manufacturer product, and Rolex making the case, the movement, the dial, the bracelet, all of it. The movement is the gold standard, one may say, but the case is quite literally gold. And Rolex white gold is gray gold. It is a type of white gold that never needs to be rhodium plated and is white all the way through. The movement also features a full balance bridge and a free-sprung balance for shock resistance, an overcoil hairspring for consistent timekeeping in any position, and that hairspring is made of blue oxidized niobium zirconium to make it highly anti-magnetic. Rolex calls it parachrome bleu. So this watch is shock resistant, water resistant, anti-magnetic, and I just told you it's a dress watch, but it is actually an all-arounder. For any time you don't need to fly an airplane or dive to the bottom of the deep, this is the watch. So reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.